This is Weirdmageddon Part 2.
I'm back and I'm loving it, baby!
You got dressed up there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I got a unicorn. For real? Because, like, reality and... yeah.
Now, of course, I was saying, did Mabel ever wear a scarf? But you pointed out this is kind of specifically for cleavage.
Sure. Oh my god, look at all this room. I'm like, damn!
So,
I can rock some good man boobs, but this ain't happening. So, yeah. What makes it even more hilarious is I've got an Evil Dead t-shirt on underneath here. There's the eye.
I feel bad because somebody
so it all balances out, you see.
Somebody knitted a long time ago, like a Mabel sweater patch that like you knit into a sweater. And I've been having a hell of a time finding it. I can't remember if I gave it to you or if I held on to it.
No, you had it.
Okay,
and
I
lost
probably have it somewhere.
That poor girl who like freaking made that thing for me, and
I feel so
lost
bad.
it.
I'm like looking everywhere for it, and I can't. I usually don't lose stuff, but that thing I lost so far. Hopefully I'll find it. But that's okay. Gravity Falls has a long ways to go. I'm sure we'll find it before all the countless episodes that they're gonna release. We should probably talk about that. We just found out. Well, not just. I mean, we found out maybe like.
I can't even say anything. For me, the grief is still too near.
We found out a few days ago. I guess when everyone else found out, it was just like, oh, because we literally just talked about this in the last vlog, didn't we? That, oh, if it ends now, we'd be okay. And then we find out, we're like, no! So it's, on the one hand, it's like, okay, leave them wanting more. I mean, that makes sense. It's a smart thing to do, but I want so much more. I mean, like, so much more.
I would have been fine with 3 seasons.
Yeah, I feel like 3 would have been right.
Yeah, like
I like your idea of like the spin-off where it's like then we get a season in winter or a season in fall. Or I thought that would have been really cool.
Did I have that idea?
Yeah, no, I thought that would have been a really great idea.
I don't remember that, but
you know, maybe they go to a different place or not. I don't know, but it's I don't know. It's like we can't be like angry because they're definitely going out on top, but it's like I wanted so much more. But then again, we did get so much. I mean, it's practically 3 seasons, really, because they took so many hiatuses and there's so many episodes. I mean, there's seasons of shows that are like, what, 11 episodes? And these are something like, you know, 20 per season, something like that. I mean, so they're good runs. But yeah,
just three seasons would have been perfect.
Yeah, I always, it's my OCD.
I will say this:
3. I need the 3 like
always go out on top. So they're certainly doing that. Don't overstay your welcome. I mean, it's not like fucking Simpsons, which should have been over more than 10 years ago. So I just wanted just a little more.
Yeah,
just a little. Just a little.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I just needed a little bit more. It's like, I want a lot more. But to their credit, tying into this episode now, seeing all the things that they've done, I will kind of admit, I feel like I'm seeing everything I wanted to see out of this show. Like, Mabel Land? Like,
fucking
you know
amazing.
They've been building that up forever. You know they've been building up this idea because she has such a big personality, such a creative, likable personality.
It's hurting my eyes. Yes, there's colors here that only bees and art students can see. Maybe my favorite line.
It's the, and it's a great place to be after all, like, the really dark, twisted, creepy stuff in the last episode, which was also wonderful. You know, you see why they need so much time on some of these episodes, because, I mean, these worlds they created, I mean, and the
background art in this was fantastic.
Yeah, and just all the creative creatures that I know are from, like, a lot of past episodes, but they had to make up a lot of them, too, and on top of that, be really, really funny and also very heartfelt and meaningful. I like sort of that fantasy versus reality trial that they're having, and I always feel like every direction I didn't know I wanted it to go, it usually goes. Like, you know, when they're there and it's like, Dipper, you must be cast out. It's like, no, we must have a trial. And it's immediately
meow.
Yeah, it's immediately like, this is a trial.
Cats are, in fact, curious. Meow, meow.
It's like, I didn't know I wanted to see a trial, but it's like, that's what they said. I'm like, yes, I want to see this. I so want to see what a trial in Mabeland is like. It's like a trial in Wonderland. It's going to be hilarious. And it was. And I like the fact, because I saw that they were going to have Jon Stewart as a voice, I like the fact that they didn't have him just come in and be Jon Stewart talking like he had a distinct voice and an accent. Like you wouldn't even necessarily.
Oh no, it was amusing.
Yeah, it was a meowsing.
A meowsing. Very amusing. I'll allow it.
I guess he did a good job just making meow meow funny. Cats are notoriously curious, meow meow.
They are.
So yeah, obviously the creativity in that is great. Even though we've kind of seen these stories before of like these perfect fantasy worlds are gonna give you everything you want, but it's not real, so you have to fight it. They're done so many times because there is so much you can say about a character attached to a personality, and you want to see everyone's interpretation of it.
It's all about how it's executed.
Yeah.
So, and I thought this was executed pretty flawlessly, because if ever there was something that I wanted to see inside somebody's head, it's definitely Mabel's.
Yeah, it's, no one else...
And it did not disappoint.
Whether it be, like, Dipper or Stan's or Wendy's or something, it's like nobody else would you be like, oh, I want to see what that world looks like. It'd be neat for a second, but you get tired of it pretty quick. Like, Mabel's the only one where you're like, yes, let's see what this would look like. And so it's smart that they stuck with that world. And they still had the temptations with the other characters. I thought the one with...
the waffle guards.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment. Somebody get me some syrup.
I thought the temptation for Seuss, that was particularly sad.
Particularly sad
to a point where
and
he had to make
poignant.
up what he looked
It was,
like.
yeah, it was very poignant. And yeah, that just... What an indictment of deadbeat dads in a good 5 seconds. Like, that's all you need. It's like, wow, that is so sad.
Well, they had a whole episode dedicated to it, too.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a great way to just bring it back up again without it. Just 5 seconds, you're like, wow, that's... See, the funny thing is, I wouldn't have even need to have seen that episode.
You have caught on.
Yeah, I would have caught on instantly, which is how you know it's good, so...
Yeah.
And then Wendy's, which of course was... what you'd expect.
Yeah, just like a monster truck. Let's go put a plunger on the principal.
And Dippers, you sing there, I'll bet that's not the real Wendy.
No, okay, as soon as she came in and she's like, hey Dipper, I don't blah blah blah, wait 5 seconds, and I didn't know you already saw it, so I'm like, I bet that's not the real Wendy. You're like, oh, aren't you a genius? I'm like, it was 5 seconds, like, get to the scene, and you're just
no,
aren't you smart? Aren't you inspired?
It was way more obnoxious than that. God.
I'm kind of glad
right.
I'm glad they didn't go that route of actually showing them the same age, because A, it would have been creepy, and B, there would have been so much fan art that would have been creepy.
No. That scene was creepy enough as it was.
Yeah, I'm glad they stopped right there. And on top of that, it's like I said, we figured it out so quickly. I'm glad they're like, okay, we're just dropping this, really fast.
Right by the depressing shores of Giggle Creek.
I'm a stuffed animal tree. I love how the rock, every time the rock bounces, it has a baby laughing.
That's why it's called Giggle Creek.
No, I'm trying to think. What else? I mean, the only thing we really haven't seen that much of is Stan yet, but these, obviously, they're all hiding in the house there. Oh, I just realized, it's like, all these things I'm realizing now that it's coming to an end. It's like all the things we're not gonna see. We're not gonna see, really, Dipper or Pacifica's relationship bloom that much anymore. They have one episode left to do anything with it, and it's like, oh. It's like...
Spin-off series, that could be its own soap opera.
There you go. It'll be cute!
Dipper and Pacifica.
But...
Days over the Pacifica.
Was it Dippy Fresh really made me laugh hard. Again,
I really hate him.
He really looks like Maniac Zach, the guy that we made up for
No, you know what he looks like? He really looks like the Burger King kid.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That was the first thing I thought, was he looks like that Burger King kid from the 90s commercials with the freaking glasses. I think it was intentional. Like, I think
he looks like
they
a mix
did that
between
on
that
purpose.
and like Goofy's son, Max. Kind of like a mix between those two.
I don't want to be that insulting to Max, because he didn't seem that obnoxious.
I like it when there's just one part where it's like, I don't even remember, they just say whatever Dippy Fresh or say, he just spins around the shades, just go like that, and I'm like, man, what a good detail to pick up on, because I always had that the shades just went,
Such an indictment of the horrors that was the 90s.
And I love the 90s, but yeah, pretty stupid.
Damn. Dippy Fresh is like Poochie. It's like, oh, we so need to get those two together.
Yeah, Dippy Fresh.
That would unleash Gozer, I think. If Dippy Fresh and fucking Poochie were in the same scene.
Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite, like...
Yeah, it was just such a great, just like, wow, everything wrong with the 90s in one character. Bam!
What, with Poochie, you mean?
Yeah, well, and Dippy Fresh.
Yeah, but really, no, I do remember that, because that was the time where it's like, I think kind of like what we were saying on the Disney Afternoon, when we were doing the review of the Disney Afternoon, we were talking about how these shows kind of got less and less as they tried to cater more to what was popular. Like, I think there was a while where we were, even though we weren't like cartoon obsessed or anything, we were like, are we the only ones seeing this? Has nobody realized that we're losing really good creative shows to just pandering bullshit? And then like when that Simpsons came on, it was just like, thank God we're not crazy. We're not the only ones that see
that.
This.
May be the last really brilliant Simpsons episode. Like when I think of like really good Simpsons, like Poochie's about the last one I can think of. I was like, wow, that nailed it. Like that was really funny.
He did go to the extreme.
Yeah.
But
now he's back on his home planet.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, everything about this episode is kind of self-explanatory. I mean, it's Mabel Land. You can't not enjoy Mabel Land. It's impossible.
I like the way it ended with the two of them because, of course, there's backlash. Mabel's so selfish. Mabel's this. It's like, everybody blames Ford, but look at Mabel. She's so selfish. And I'm just, well, duh. It's like, when has she not been selfish? That's just kind of Mabel's thing. But the thing is, I think they work together. Like, that's what makes the two of them work. Like, Dipper, because, like, I've been seeing this, like, across the net where some people are just like, oh, well, now Dipper has to give up his dream and his fantasy of working with Ford just to satisfy Maple. Stupid sister, you know, like, he admitted straight up that he would have been miserable doing it. Like being Ford's apprentice.
No, it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of a mixed bag for me, because on the one hand, it's like, I don't want to see those two separate. I like to see them together. I think they make a good team. On the other hand, I do think to myself, well, okay, so he doesn't, I believe in what he says, he doesn't really want to do that. He doesn't want to, you know, because he had to think about before and he wasn't sure, so I believe that he doesn't really have an interest anymore, especially now that Weirdmageddon is happening and all the answers are there pretty much. You know, he doesn't really have any interest of looking into all this stuff. He'd much rather be with his sister because it's more important.
So,
no, hold on.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing too, is that I'm thinking, but why, you know, let's grow up together. And it's like, you know, granted, we're brothers and stuff like that, but, you know, we move out, we separate at times, you know, we have to be away and we live our own lives and stuff like that. And there's other siblings that we know that move far away, and they're not necessarily like, hey, we need to stay glued together. But then, the big thing for me is, hey, they're kids. They're not grown up yet. You know, they're siblings, and they're young, and they're little kids. They should grow up together, and they should be there for those important moments. And a lot of the episodes are talking about growing up slowly.
Not only are there kids, but I question Ford's reasoning behind all this, because my issue was, Ford's got shit he's got unresolved with Stan.
He wants to separate them.
And he wanted to separate those two, and whatever issues Ford had going on with Stan, like, that was completely poisoning the relationship between Mabel and Dipper. It was always about, Dipper, you have to do this. Dipper, you have to do that. Dipper this, Dipper that. Well, if you know, you can't let Mabel hold you back like this and that. It was always this sort of thing that was underlining it.
It was very much projected.
Yeah, and if Stan, or if Ford wanted Dipper as an apprentice just for those noble reasons, that's fine. But it was tainted by all that other crap. So Dipper would have been doing this, and I think he put it best. Like, I think he would have been miserable. Like, the thing is, just like Mabel thought she wanted to be in Mabel Land, and Dipper said, no, I know you're smarter than this. Deep down, you don't really want to be here. You know, I think it was the same thing with Dipper. I think Dipper, like, was like, oh yeah, sure, I want to be the apprentice, I want to be the smart one, I want to be this. But I think he didn't think it the whole way through, and I think had he would have done it, he would have been miserable.
I think the one thing I would have liked to have seen a little bit more to emphasize that, because I did get that, but I would have felt it a lot stronger if they showed Dipper going through a little bit of that. Like, maybe when he was by the pond, if he was thinking out loud about that, maybe.
But no, see, it was all there in the memories. That was the whole point of those scenes, was the way they supported each other. Because in the same way Dipper was sitting there in Mabeland and saying, you're out of your fucking mind, like, this is crazy. Like, this is your crazy extroverted side, you know, completely unleashed. Mabel's always there to give Dipper the push and say, no, you're too withdrawn, you know, go out, live a little. So that's the way the two support each other. Like, what happened? It was Dipper crying in the room, and then he gets the Valentines. You know, she came in there, shoved those Valentines under, and was trying to help him out.
Yeah, they support each other.
You know, and of course Mabel's, you know, issue was all basically kind of shallow and on the outside, but it was, oh, my hair's messed up. So Dipper's like, well, you know, we'll do this. So it really was all there.
No, it's something I caught on to. It's, you know, because there was so much of it 2 episodes before, you know, it seemed like kind of a fast switch, but again, like you said, I picked up on it. I picked up that, you know, hey, we're still young, we're kids, you know, our you know, being siblings is really important. Let's still stay together while we're young and everything. You know, I did get it. I would have liked a little bit more of him saying that, hey, this dream of being with Ford and finding this stuff out is not as big a deal. The importance of staying with her is obvious, and that was emphasized. I would have liked just a little bit more.
I thought it was pretty emphasized when he said, what, I'm going to sit here in a lab coat?
No, yeah, you're right. No, but for episodes, the whole entire show, he's been obsessed over discovering stuff, and with that one sentence, suddenly it's kind of like, you know, no biggie. But like I said, the importance of Mabel and being with her...
I think he's also realized with Weirdmageddon that, oh, this isn't shits and giggles. Like, this isn't, oh, I'm going to have fun in the basement. Like, this is fucking insane.
Yeah.
No, so like I think he may have come to realize
everything's kind of found out. I mean, that needs to be found out. And on top of that, I kind of like that even though I would have liked a little bit more, I like that they did the fast version because, again, I just wanted more comedy. I wanted more of Mabel Land, but I wanted the emotional center there, and I thought that was here. And I thought, you know, if there is a little bit of that missing, you can figure it out. Like I said, they explain enough where it's like, no, I get this. I understand this.
But yeah, Mabel needs Dipper to keep her sane, and Dipper needs Mabel to keep him sane, you know, in their different ways. They each, if they're stuck in their own... That was exactly what it was. They would have each been stuck in their own little world. And, you know, basically the conclusion the show came to is that they're better off helping each other out because they balance each other out.
Yeah.
So...
Well, yeah, especially given their age.
Because Dipper's awkward enough as it is. I don't think he needs to be stuck in a basement for the entire summer. Like, I think he needs that extra push. And Mabel is obviously out of her fucking mind.
Well, that's why I like to see.
You know, Dipper needs to bring her back to reality as well. So
that's probably what's going to happen with Stan and Ford. Is that because again, I mean, Stan is the go out there and be the showman and stuff like that, and Ford is very much the
I think stay
in there. And
Stan's going to try to rescue Ford. I think.
Yeah. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's like then they see how they work each other out, like how Dipper and Mabel did. That'd be my guess. So, yeah, can't think of too much else. Just still very, very funny, very creative. Man, second to last episode. That is...
Mabel's back!
For one more episode.
Shut up!
I'm just gonna get like, you know, big bunch of popcorn or something when that comes on. Yeah, because that's just gonna be... So sad. That's
Shut up! You know what? I can't deal with this. I'm going to Sweater Town.
Is Egypt in there? Because you're floating on denial.
It's not just a river, it's a way of life.
See you next time. On the last episode!
Shut up!